Hey, thanks for checking out this clip from the After Files. We're live almost every Thursday night directly after the episode premieres. So thanks for checking this out and hope to see you live next week. Well, we're 90 minutes in. You know what that means.
Tell me something I don't know. Where's Gino? Oh shit, where'd he go? Tell me something I don't know. Where's Gino? Oh shit, where'd he go? Jet set and betting at the regular scenes. Worldwide travel fiend with the green. Jack Harry's the bone who bears. Big bushes change smell. Thaw the air. Ayy, hippity doppity doppity doo. Where's Gino? Yeah, that's who. And yeah, it's true, cause that's a dude. He cares a fuck. He brings around the vibes and the souls up.
So, Gino, do I have to, do I keep these images hidden for now?
Oh, are you dressing me? I thought I was Mr. Poopy Pants. You don't have to put those images up just yet, but if you enjoy Gino's story time, please go to kidmancoffeeco.com and use the promo code WildFiles. Get yourself some Java 51. They are ready to ship pretty soon. I think they're going out in the next week. So nice. Today's story hour, we're going to talk about the green monster of the Flatwoods, or the Flatwoods Monster. Flatwoods Monster is a story, again, that is unsure if we're talking about a cryptid or an alien, but it starts out in Appalachia in September of 1952. So again, this is an early sighting. There's two brothers, Eddie and Freddie May, who are out playing on the playground of their local school with two of their buddies, throwing the football around, and they see in the sky a huge streak that lights up the sky. So of course they see it, and it looks like it crash lands on the farm next door, owned by a guy named G. Bailey Fisher. So kids being kids, they think they see a UFO, so they run home to tell their mom, that, hey, there's a UFO over there. Let's go check it out. Hey, Mom, there's a UFO crash at old man Fisher's farm. Let's get over there. So the mom, knows kids being kids. It's probably not a UFO, but, God forbid it's an airplane crash and someone needs help or something. So she gets the kids together, grabs the dog, Richie, and then goes down to the neighbor's house where this kid, Eugene, he's a 17-year-old, and asked him to come with them. Now, Eugene has just recently gone into the National Guard, so, he comes equipped with a flashlight. So he's the leader of the crew here. So they're going down, checking out the farm, and it's about a quarter mile down. So they're trekking their search party down the way, and they could see that there's like a burning sphere on the hill, like a round circle that's flamed up. So as they're looking at this burning, they are overcome with this mist and the smell of a burning sulfur type of plastic. So if this is everyone gather around the campfire, or that's my burning UFO. So they see the burning circle, and they are overcome with this mist. And you know what that means. You don't want that space smoke. Every time that space smoke shows up, it doesn't turn out good for everyone. So they see two glowing red lights off to the left above this burning circle. And Eugene, the military man's Johnny on the spot with the flashlight, flashes over to it, and they see the craziest animal or creature that they've ever seen in their life. It is a 10-foot tall, you can put up the pictures now if you'd like. It's 10 feet tall. It has a glowing red face and green skin, and its head is like in the shape of a spade. They said like you would see in a deck of cards. And besides that, it has these spindly arms that come to little claws, and the dog sees it, and he's out of there. The dog is no help. So they brought this dog along It is not a guard dog for sure. So now they're looking at this thing. They're all scared. They're screaming. They start booking it back to the house. And once they get back to the house, they do, they call the police. So Mrs. May calls the police, and she does what any other person would do. She also calls a news reporter. So the police and a news reporter show up at the same time, and they're starting to do their investigation. Now, while they're doing their investigation, they can't find they don't see the Flatwoods Monster. But what they do find is there is this mist with this overwhelming smell that's lingering on the property. They find some tracks and some oily substance, but they can't really find anything else. So not much evidence there. But they did have to bring 4 of the people who were on this search party to the hospital because they were having those overwhelming effects. Their eyes were burning. I mean, they felt like their skin was burning, their eyes were watering, and they were hospitalized. And the doctors said they had the same symptoms as if they were dealing with the symptoms of mustard gas, which is an interesting tidbit in the whole thing. So not much evidence there. Then the next day, there was another sighting about 20 miles north in a place called, let's see where my notes are, Heaters, West Virginia. So in Heaters, West Virginia, there was a woman named Audra who she came across what she thought was the same creature. While she was walking home from the store with her and her buddy, they took a shortcut through the woods. Now, also, never a good idea. Don't take the shortcut through the woods. What are you doing? So they take the shortcut through the woods, and they see this creature that they describe the same exact way. That's 10 feet tall, has these small spindly arms, and the one thing I forgot to mention is how it was dressed. It had this long, flowy skirt on, and this like a metallic skirt. Also, the original party mentioned it made a hissing noise, and that's what scared them the most, and started floating towards them. That's why they booked it back to the house, because it was coming right at them. And they didn't come out with any guns. I don't know what they're thinking. You don't go searching for aliens without guns. So Audra and her friend, they see this thing 10 feet tall in the woods coming at them. They book it out of there as well. Now, the only difference with them is they didn't think that it had the spaded head. What they saw was something a little bit different, but it was so dark they couldn't really describe it. So that goes on record. The very next day, there's another couple who are going sightseeing with their toddler, and they're driving through West Virginia, and all of a sudden, their car breaks down, just shuts off. So they're trying to figure out what's going on. They're turning the key, it's not going on, and all of a sudden, the space smoke rolls in. So they start getting coughing and getting sick from the sulfur smell, and they're looking around to see what's causing this. The baby's going nuts in the back, and they see on the side of the road coming at them is the Flatwoods Monster. And again, they describe it the same way, only again, it didn't have the helmet on this time or the spaded head. But they could see the bright glowing red and orange eyes, and it took its hand and put it on top of the car. It dragged its lizard-like claw across their car, and of course he hits the horn. He's scared. All of a sudden, it's gone. It just takes off. Now, as soon as it takes off, they're able to start the car again, and they're ready to book it on out of there. But they say for a mile, they're just overcome with that space mist. So, of course, all this kind of catches fire in the news. The reporter was there that night. He starts reporting on it. And one of the things that he reports on, his name was Barker. I forgot his first name. So he's writing in the article about it. And on the third sighting, they said it didn't have a spaded head. It had a reptilian, bony face. So lizard people, maybe that's what we're talking about. And but it got so much press that it got a whole bunch of different names. One was the green monster, monster of the Flatwoods Monster, the Braxton County Monster, and a very cute name, also Braxy is what they called it. So this guy writes these articles, and then 2 weeks later, he gets visited by two men in black. Now he describes them as them saying that they work for a magazine and they're doing an article and they need to know all the information on that. As he's talking to them, he quickly realizes that they're not referring to each other by name. They're only referring to each other by number, which is strange. And of course, he doesn't believe that they work for a magazine. However, at the end, they threatened him and they said, now that we talk, don't write anything else about this creature, and then take off. So again, he felt like he felt really intimidated by them, but he did go on to become a big UFO writer. So I guess he wasn't that scared. And so that's the story of the Flatwoods Monster. Again, there are a few sightings and they slightly differ in how they looked, especially with the spade head. But all three of those sightings happened in West Virginia. And I think that is one of the most recognized cryptids. And again, it seems like all of these creatures are dressed in really interesting garb. For it to have a flowing metallic skirt, I think that's the only time I ever heard about that. Again, I'm not going to try and guess the alien's gender. I couldn't even do that down here. I'm not going to
No.
out.
That can of worms.
But very stylish in their outfits, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, that's crazy. That one looks like a cat. The one drawing that you show looks like a cat in a hood.
And that drawing that you're showing right now was drawn by our own SMK.
That's right.
So if you go over to keep scrolling through those pictures. There was one picture that so that's the main picture of what it was described as originally. That was one of the original pictures. If you go one more picture over, no, keep going.
Yeah, looks like a cat.
Cat.
Yeah, that looks a little like a cat. Oh, so the biggest theory is that this was an owl. And I don't know how many owls people have seen, especially in these backwoods, but the difference between a 10-foot owl and a barn owl is a foot at most, So to think that these things are owls is really pushing what. How does an owl land on a car and put its hand on a car and you think it's an owl? It's just it's too much.
Like
Well,
with the Kentucky Goblins, that they thought they were owls as well.
Right.
But the chat likes the story. They're only slightly disappointed that there wasn't as much sex in this one as last week.
Well, you never know what happened behind the scenes. That was a couple going for a stroll in their car, and maybe they're looking for a lover's lane. Now, this is an interesting picture because it does look like that they have Mel's Hole's seal fetus hanging out above them.
They do. Look at that.
But what I think is this picture is they're trying to say it's an owl.
I have not seen a lot of owls in metallic skirts.
They're just not that fashionable.
Right.
Where did this take place?
West Virginia, Flatwoods, West Virginia.
All kinds of stuff going on in West Virginia.
West Virginia. That looks like they all look like the Flying Nun.
I thought of a nun too. I was like, they look like my teachers in high school.
Yeah.
Now, again, I'll say this. Here's another story where it never hurts anyone. You know, we're always trying to blast these things. Never hurts. These things never hurt anyone.
Yeah, that's what. But we were talking about that last week on the live stream when I was saying everybody's so worried about aliens, but you know, we've been hearing about them for hundreds and hundreds of years. So you think if they're going to do something bad, they would have done it before now.
You know, one of the things you said before before we were on, AJ, you mentioned how the UFOs seem to crash a lot, and if they have this technology, how come they can't fly these things and they crash? Well, consider how we have technology to go under the water, but we're still imploding and things are going missing. So if these things are living in our ocean, maybe they're having the opposite effect. They're sending up their billionaires, and you know, some of them land in Roswell.
There you go. Right there.
Wow.
Well, Jenny, I'm going to do a reboot here because this computer's dying. Do you want to do a couple of super chats while I do that?
I absolutely will. Could now? Okay, great. Here we go. Kevin Scouter good for $50. Whoa! Thank you, Kevin. Look at your cute little boy. Outside staring at Janet Airlines flyby. Should I go visit the groom? I'm not sure what that's supposed to mean, Kevin, but I would be interested to see some pictures of Janet Airlines. That's crazy. If you guys don't know what he's talking about, we've got an early video about Janet Airlines, and it's an airline that flies every day to Area 51, every day back and forth. It's a really crazy story.